Rice paper rolls break all the rules of what we expect when it comes to food on the go. And what makes them so special isn't just the taste. They're super versatile, they're light, and they are absolutely delicious. These delicious rolls are going to give you protein and veggies without excessive grease, which means you're not going to feel bloated and end up in that dreaded afternoon food coma. And the best part is they make an amazing meal prep option. You can prep all the ingredients and then just make them as you need them throughout the week. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to show you this incredible street food phenomenon that I guarantee you've probably never heard of, but absolutely should have. Now let's get stuck in. First up, let's talk about the proteins. Now we want lean protein so that when we're eating a rice paper roll, it doesn't just disintegrate and fall apart in our hands. Now just because they're lean doesn't mean we can't punch them full of flavor. So we're going to start with the prawns, really simple seasoned prawns, just blanched super lightly. Next up, we've got pork loin. We're going to marinate that in some honey, fish sauce, and garlic. And lastly, chicken. We're going to do a real classic kind of Vietnamese lemongrass chicken marinade, and let's start with that one. We're going to use a microplane to get the lemongrass nice and fine. So just grate about 1 stick of lemongrass. The only thing I would say is that when you're grating lemongrass like that, just be really careful because sometimes you get big shards of the fibery stuff. And that's not super nice to eat. You just want this really nice fine pulp. We're also going to grate in 1 shallot and 2 cloves of garlic. Then we've got about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. The reason we want the brown sugar in there is because we want to get some color on this chicken really quickly when we grill it. If there's no sugar in there, you're going to struggle to get that color before it cooks all the way through. And you don't want to overcook the chicken. Give that a good mix. So this is chicken breast, which has been sliced kind of relatively thinly. You want it about 1/2 centimeter thick, and you want pieces that are roughly the same size as your tablespoon. What that's going to give you is like 2 or 3 pieces that will fit really nicely in a small rice paper roll. Make sure that's well incorporated. Simple as that. Put that aside, and we'll get on with the pork. For the pork, we're going to start with a base of sriracha. So a tablespoon of sriracha and then a tablespoon of honey. I'm using hot honey because, you know, amplify the heat. Normal honey will work. And similar to the chicken, we're trying to add some sugar so it colors really quickly when we're cooking this pork. Fish sauce, 1 tablespoon, and dark soy sauce, 1 tablespoon. A couple of cloves of garlic, also grated, and some finely ground white pepper. Give that a mix. Oh, that looks pretty luscious, doesn't it? Then goes our pork loin. Give that a mix. Put that to the side with our chicken and our prawns and we'll get cracking with our veggies. So herbs and veggies are super important in rice paper rolls. The veggies provide crunch, the herbs provide delicious amounts of flavor, and the green parts, so the spring onions and the lettuce, they kind of provide volume, which is really important for when you're rolling it, and it kind of makes sure it's well-rounded. So first things first, I think one thing that's almost non-negotiable, it's kind of a choose your own journey, but carrots, and they provide a really amazing level of crunch. So our carrots, we want julienne carrots. So simply first up, peel your carrots, then take off the tops and the bottoms and cut them in half. Now you can do this all on a knife, but I prefer to do it on a mandolin. I'm gonna cut ribbons or sheets that are like that thick, which is 3 mil, 4 mil maybe. Now you don't want these too thin because then you lose that crunchy aspect. If you're gonna use a mandolin, maybe use the guard. Safety first. The best part about doing carrots, you get a little snack. Then arrange your carrots in piles about 6 or 7 high. Then cut them the same size the other way, roughly 3 or 4 mils thick. We're going to repeat the same thing with the cucumbers, but before we do that, we're just going to preheat our grill. The only thing I would say with the cucumbers, which is different to the carrot, is once you get to the seeds, it's at that point that you turn it. We don't want the seeds in there because the seeds are full of water. So then for the spring onions, I like to kind of keep them nice and fine, just like you're doing the cucumbers. So cut them in half and then finely slice them again, just like you were doing if you were making Peking duck. Because that's a ridiculous reference, Andrew, because no one makes Peking duck at home, do they? So let's talk herbs. I've got some classic mint here. I'm just going to pick classic mint. Is it called classic mint? I'm sure this has a name. Some coriander, or the devil's herb, like someone referred to it in one of my shorts last night. We're going to pick this. We're going to keep it kind of stalky though. I don't mind a little bit of stalk in my coriander. And if you don't like coriander, that's okay. It's proven by science that some people find the taste of coriander to be very similar to soap. I am not one of those people, thankfully. And then Vietnamese mint. Now this one's a bit harder to find. You should be able to find it in most markets or any Asian supermarket now. You probably won't find it in your local supermarkets, I don't think at this point. It's got like a pointy shape to the leaf. It doesn't taste like mint at all. It's a little bit sharper. It's quite delicious though. A little bit peppery, zesty. And the only other veg we need is we've got an avocado, which we're going to do that when we're kind of making them. I think the closer to you making them, the better with avocado. And some bean shoots. Let's put that to one side and we're going to talk through dipping sauces. All right, dipping sauces. Now they are essential to rice paper rolls, and there's a lot of different versions of this. I'm going to make the kind of classic-ish peanut version. I'm also going to do Nok Jam, which is a very, I guess it's like a table sauce in Vietnam, and it's probably one of my favorites. But the peanut sauce, first up, peanut butter. I like to use smooth peanut butter. To that, we're going to add hoisin for sweetness, because one of the main points of these sauces is to add sweet, sour, salt, savory. The hoisin is going to give us our sweetness in this case. Salty, fish sauce. Spicy, a little bit of sriracha. And I saw my mate Marion do this and I thought it was a great idea. Shout out to Marion's Kitchen. We're gonna add a little bit of water just to let the whole lot down. We want it dipple. We want it to be dippable. Is that a word, dippable? So that when you put your rice paper roll in, it's not like just completely glugged up with sauce. There's a nice amount of sauce on there. And I'm also gonna add the juice of 1 lime. Why is it sometimes you get a lime that juices like 3 liters and then sometimes you get one that's like... Let's try that again. Oh, this feels like a juicy one. Let's see. Oh, we're just gonna use half of that one. So make sure you're mixing the sauce really well and then taste it to see if it's balanced or not. So for me, that's still a bit too thick. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more water. Looking good, let's have a taste. Needs a little bit more saltiness, so I'm gonna add some fish sauce. Other than that, it's bang on. A little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, lots of umami in there. Put this into a serving dish, and then I just got some roasted peanuts, nice and heavily roasted and salted. Just gonna chop them up a little bit on top for a garnish. Also adds another lovely layer of texture. Put that aside and we'll make the next sauce. So Nok Jam, first up, I've got half a cup of water, which has just come to the boil, and I'm gonna add some palm sugar. Not all this palm sugar, that's quite a lot. Just about 2 tablespoons. Sometimes you can get it, well, most of the time you can get palm sugar. Oh, I've just stabbed my board. In small cubes. I think one of those cubes, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 1 tablespoon, but probably depends on the brand of palm sugar. So in the palm sugar goes to that hot water to start dissolving. I'm gonna stir that till it dissolves. So once the palm sugar is all dissolved, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is used, it depends on your limes, honestly. Now, I've been doing this type of thing for a long time, so I'm happy to eyeball it, but if you don't feel super confident, then get your measurements out. Then we've got fish sauce, really good quality fish sauce. And you wanna add about 2 tablespoons first, and then taste it, and you might need to add a bit more. It depends on the fish sauce, the brand, lots of things. Needs more. So it should be tasting sweet, sour, and salty at this point. Don't include this as Thai fish sauce, they'll kill me. Yum. Oh, I love this sauce so much. So now we need to add our aromats. So we've got bird's eye chili, little spicy boys, and garlic. You can grate your garlic in there, or you can just slice it relatively thin, and it will just infuse the liquid. When I was in Vietnam last, I had this amazing dish at a restaurant that just served goat, and they served the raw goat's blood, coagulated goat's blood with like rice crackers and stuff on top. It was a journey, but they served it with raw garlic cloves, and I remember them being like, eat some of that and then just chew on the garlic clove. It was actually delicious. Anyway, now we're gonna slice these bird's eyes relatively thin. If you don't like it too spicy, just go 1. If you like it more spicy like me, I'm gonna put 3 in. Now the only other thing we're gonna add is just a little dash of rice wine vinegar. And what that gives us is like a nice kind of bitey sourness. Unlike the lime juice, which gives quite a sweet sourness, if that makes sense. This is quite like a sharp sourness. This sauce will evolve over time. Oh, yum. As that garlic and that chili sits there and permeates, that's delicious right now. But honestly, it's better in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Leave it in the fridge for a week. Delicious little dipping sauce. So for the vermicelli, got some boiling water here. Pretty simple. In they go. They won't take long, maybe 2 minutes, just so they're kind of broken down and they're pliable enough. But when you eat one, there should still be a little bit of chew, because they will carry over cooking. Let's go drain these off. Once you've drained them off, just give them a rinse under cold water. That should stop the cooking. Then we're just going to leave them to hang out in the sink, just to drain off a bit. Just give them a good squeeze, trying to get rid of any of that excess moisture. So it's time to grill our meat. I'm going to do it over like this cast iron grill thing here. You can do it over a barbecue if you want, over a charcoal barbecue, be even better. Things to remember. We want to cook it hot and fast. We want to try and get some good color on the outside. And then we want to rest it on a rack, because we don't actually want to serve this meat inside our rice paper rolls hot. All that's going to do is make all the beautiful veg kind of go all soggy and nasty pretty quick. So hot and fast, once it's ready and got some good color, onto a rack with a tray underneath it for it to rest and get down to room temperature. All right, it's time to roll. But before we do, make sure you stick around, because after this, I'm going to show you one more amazing little street food delight using these rice paper rolls. So there's a few tricks to these. 2 sides to the rice paper. You've got the textured side where the crisscrosses are, and then the flat side. We're going to put the flat side down on the surface, but we need to wet it first. So in it goes, spin it around just until it's covered in water, and then remove it, and then place it down on your bench. Just let it chill there for a couple of minutes. Don't rush into it at this point. We also don't want to leave it in the water. It's going to absorb too much water, and it's going to be a pain to roll. So we're going to start with the herbs up the top. You can be as particular as you want with the herbs. If you do it really nicely, so you put like the really good green side down, especially of this Vietnamese mint, it'll kind of look really cool once you roll it up. Then we're going to add some mint, and it really is a bit of a choose your own journey. I'm going to make one of each of the proteins and show you what I would put them in it, but feel free to kind of play around, mix and mash. We got some butter lettuce here, on that goes. I like to break it up a little bit, kind of makes it easier to keep it in a nice line. Then we're going to add the rest of the veg. We've got carrots, put those down the front so that you can see them through the rice paper. A little bit of cucumber, some spring onions, green onions or scallions, depending where you are in the world. Then above that, we're going to add, in this case, our chicken. It's a lovely lemongrass chicken. Don't be tempted to overfill it. And then across the top, the vermicelli. Because no one wants to see that, do they? So time to roll. Get your hands a little bit damp. I'm going to pick up the end, pull it tight, and wrap it over. Now you really want to try and get this as tight as you can at this point, because once, as you can see there, as soon as the rice paper sticks to each other, it's pretty hard to get it apart. Make sure everything's tucked in nicely, like it's going to bed, going for a little nun-eyes. And like pancakes, these get better as you make them. I'm pretty happy with that one for my first one. It's a little bit odd shaped, but it's close enough. So for the next one, I'm going to do prawn. So I'm going to start with coriander on the bottom, carrot, all important crunch, some bean sprouts, a little bit of lettuce, avocado, prawns. Make sure you remove the little tails. A little bit of vermicelli. Wrap it up. Over, nice and tight. Tuck it into bed, fold the sides in, and over she goes. And pork, Vietnamese mint, normal mint, carrots, spring onion. Get our pork in there, vermicelli. And the trick is with these is to figure out the perfect amount of filling to put in. Because too little and it can look a bit stingy, too much and it becomes a bit tight, a bit hard to roll nicely. Rinse and repeat. I'll make a few more, then we'll have a taste. All right, I'm dying to eat one of these, but what sauce do I go with? I'm gonna go peanut. I don't know why I don't make these more often. It's full of flavor, spicy, sweet, salty, savory, low calories as well. I don't know why that's a thing. But they're so fresh and delicious. They don't even need to be deep fried. The team here was always like, you gotta deep fry them. Nah, don't deep fry them, just eat them like this. Yeah, yummy. All right, I'm gonna finish eating this, have a clean down, and then I'm gonna show you one more amazing little dish with rice paper that I'm almost guarantee you've never seen before. Ah, you're still here. So this dish I had on the streets of Ho Chi Minh last year, maybe the year before. This incredible lady rocks up with this, she had it on her shoulder, a lit barbecue and a bunch of ingredients. And she did this, she pulled a rice paper out. Now, she did it over charcoal. We're gonna do it on a dry pan. Put the rice paper, oh that's hot, in the dry pan. What a surprise. Whisk up an egg, and we're gonna pour that all over the rice paper. She did it like really quickly too. It was very impressive. She also used quail eggs. This is obviously just a hen's egg. We're gonna try and get all of it on there, but we might not. So this dish is called Bánh Tráng Nướng. Sorry if I pronounced that terribly. Sometimes it's called Vietnamese pizza. I did a short video on that a while ago, and some Vietnamese got a little bit frustrated that I called it that. So on top of that, we've got some spring onions. The one I had like these little sausages on it, which was really yummy, but today we've got some leftover lemongrass chicken, so we're gonna get some of that on there. And I think it is a bit of a choose your own journey type of thing. I don't think there's kind of one set way to, or one set filling, I should say. So this rice paper is gonna go super crispy, and then we're gonna fold it over. So these parts that have kind of curled up, we'll just hold it down. Then we got some peanuts, got some crunch, some mayonnaise. I guess that's probably made this unhealthy, but if you do it without the mayonnaise, it'd still be healthy. A little bit of chili sauce. Now we're gonna flip this in half like a calzone or a crepe. Continue to toast it. This is what we're looking for. Some nice color, and you can hear that it's super crisp, and that's when it's kind of eats really well. Gets all nice and crispy and yum. Crispy, how many times can I say crispy? And that's it, out she comes. Now she just served it to me in a paper bag and I ate it like that, but we're gonna be fancy and cut it open. There you go. It's yum. It's crispy, it's delicious, and it's incredible at using up leftovers. Got a couple of eggs, some leftover chicken, a little bit of sauce and some spring onions. Delicious little snack. Anyway, legends, thanks so much for watching. As always, like this video if you've taken anything from it, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you next week for another recipe. Peace.